Yeah.
With Chester at the wheel, driving on the right-hand side, of course, driving me through the English countryside as I'm in the back seat, and quaffing one of these.
And the
I wouldn't
burled
say
walnut
quaffing.
picnic tables down.
I'm sorry?
And the burled walnut picnic tables down.
Exactly, of course, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I'm thinking of being in a nice wingback leather chair with my sheepdog by my side.
Would you say mustache back?
Sorry?
Would you say mustache back?
What's
chair?
a mustache back? I haven't...
The chair.
Okay.
It had the
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen... Okay.
The wingbacks are so, let's just say, pedestrian.
And what was the driver's name?
Well, I must be...
I think
Chester.
Chester. Because James is just too typical.
We should tell
Jeeves.
Chester not to drive at too high a rate of speed. Otherwise, we'd have to pay attention to the dowager straps.
Oh, wow. And
bum.
here I am.
Dowager
Here I am, the youngest person in the room. And I'm the guy who owned the antique store. But Dave's talking about dowager straps, and do you want to tell people what those are?
Well, dowager. Well, you may have to cut this out or bleep it, Danny. But it's the old handle in the cars, and that you hold on to on the side on the top of the roof. And the old lady in England is a dowager.
England!
And that gave her a handle.
Oops, sorry. We're all out of beer.
I'm out of beer.
That gave her a handle to grab on hold to, so she wouldn't slide across the back seat of the car.
Yeah, back in the day, it was on the hood, right? Correct?
They were where?
Like outside of the.
Oh well,
yeah.
Well,
You mean holding the hood down?
No.
no,
I was
he's
going to say they're
They're
bonnet
like-
straps.
yeah those. Yeah, he's talking. Well, he's talking about an old carriage on an old carriage.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, actually, you had to stick your hand outside
Yes.
to hold yourself down.
Hello, this is Dave Sr., and you're listening to Key West Beer Tales, the sum of all beers.
Let's move to the
Time
next
to
one.
move to the next beer, but this is. It's hard to believe that the next one is going to beat it, and we know it will. But it's hard to believe it's going to beat it.
You know, I just want to throw a couple things out there for this one. You know, like the last one, I said some British foods and whatever. I'd actually like pair this one with like a really nice like like a peach pie. Yeah, I would say something a little bit more American, a peach or apple pie. You know, something with a kind of a little bit of spice, but a little bit sweet at the same time. This one is smooth and kind of rolls back on the tongue.
Rolls.
Okay, so yeah,
It rolls like a Rolls Royce.
Easy there, Chester.
I could have it with some some kettle corn or caramel corn. or
Yeah.
something.
I mean, like, it has a very caramely kind of quality to
It
it.
just kind of reminds me of that. So
This is sound. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
is this a 2011?
This is the 2011. It is indeed the one
So
that's coming up.
the difference it says here is it produces a beer with a firm malt base, marmalade notes, and satisfying bitter finish.
marmalade.
So all these bottles are the same color. They have the same.
Yes.
They're brown, but
Dark brown.
yeah, they're very dark brown. But you know, if you hold them up to the light, you can get a little bit of light through there. And this one has much more stuff.
Stuff in it.
Sediment at the bottom.
Now, on the vintage 2010, it says 125,000 bottles were produced.
Yeah, and they're gone.
But it doesn't say on the other ones. So it's an assumption of mine that the 125,000 bottles is a low figure because they're gone. They don't have any. It's just my assumption. So maybe they make 300,000 bottles of the other ones, but it's just an assumption only because it's gone. The first one on the card is 97, is on the card,
97 then, yeah.
and then they said the 2013 edition and the 16 previous years, and this time of night, math sucks.
Math sucks. Math sucks.
I'm watching from afar, and as the
pouring of the beer.
as the last few drops are being poured, it looked awful good.
It does have a very nice look to it.
Danny has her glass, not my glass, right?
Yeah, Danny has her own
Well, I'd
glass.
like to raise my glass and toast to English beers. English!
English.
Cheers.
I also like to point out that what we call the Revolutionary War here, they actually consider it to be a civil war, which is a rich part of history here in the United States.
Yeah, totally is.
Well, it was a civil war.
It's almost as
It was.
It's richer
Because
than-
we were all
Think about
we
it,
were
yeah.
we were all British
Yeah,
before.
British, yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
Very
This
interesting
is very
thought
rich.
process.
Oh my.
this is delicious. This is beyond delicious, actually.
Okay, so what year was this again? Just real quick for
This is the 2011.
They are getting better and better.
They
aren't
are getting better.
yeah.
Same
So
hops, same malts,
yep.
same process. Same
Well,
bottle
roughly,
condition.
roughly the same. Roughly. So as a middle child, my sister and her friends would get ready for their various different dances, whatever, and I would just be like sitting at the bottom of the stairs, like, oh my god, these girls are so hot, and and this is the hottest out of the four girls, and I'm not going to say names because my sister actually listens to the show. I'll just out myself. So I was a freshman in high school, and one of my sister's friends, she had recently broken up with her boyfriend, and my sister was like, "Why don't you just take Mark to the prom?" So, freshman in high school, senior prom. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll go to the prom with you. That's totally cool." So my mom was completely against this idea. She was like, "That's no." So my sister was like, "Well, bring him home at like 11, at night. He won't be out with the rest of us." And
That makes a lot of sense.
so yeah, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." My mom was finally like, "All right, fine." And Holly, I asked her what color her dress was going to be, and she was like, "It's going to be red." And I was like, "All right, cool." So as the dude, you get the appropriate flowers.
It's kind of like pairing beer with food.
Yeah. You get the appropriate flowers. You got to match. You're wearing a tuxedo, so you have the cummerbund. But I went so far to find out exactly what color red it was and dye my hair red.
Oh my god!
And not tell anyone I was doing this. So, as the evening went on, afternoon turns into the evening, whatever. People are gathering at my house, which was a very kind of central location for, in my town. And people are taking photos, and my sister and boyfriend, and my mom's just going crazy. She's taking photos. She's like, "Oh my god, it's crazy," and I'm just like, I get my tuxedo on and I walk outside, and everyone just kind of is like, "All right." And there's some laughing, and there's some okay, yeah, bright red hair. All right, that's Mark. Mind you, this is the '90s, so this was I no longer have bright red hair, so. Yeah.
I think you should do it again.
No.
Just for a crank, like one night at the Cork and Stogie, come in with red hair.
Red hair. But yeah, it was really funny. So yeah, and then we actually went to the prom, and my hair matched her dress, and we were dancing and having fun and whatever. And I was thinking that, the whole time that I was like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done. Mm-hmm. And at the point in my life, it was.
At that time.
At that time. Yeah.
It's only just beginning.
But he's still always
Really,
trying
really.
to please the ladies. So
Well, really, it was just.
He's trying to do a one-up on that one.
Yeah.
only
Really,
just
that was just the beginning.
Yes.
Jimmy Castor, who recently passed away, he's a musician. He wrote a song called "It's Only Just Begun," and every time I kind of start to do something new, like for instance, when we set forth the Hounds of War onto the field of QS Beer Tales,
Yes.
It just clicks in my head, and it's like, that song's the song. It's just begun. And that was the first time. That was the first time I heard that song in my head, when I was like, oh yeah.
Hi, this is Danny Hoy, and you're listening to Key West Beer Tales, the sum of all beers.
So again,
So smooth.
I really wanted to save this for last, but like I just, as these beers get older, I just want to get more pickled fish.
We have some locks in the refrigerator.
No.
that's not
I'm
pickled,
talking.
though.
It's not pickled.
No, that's smoked.
I've been looking at the fish picture all night, so it's funny you would say that. I
there's
looked at the picture
you have
at the time he was saying that. Does anybody get the marmalade that they say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Marmalade and then the
in this one, each one
And if
gets
anyone
some
makes marmalade, well, the British do.
yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
ironic because oranges are not from the British Isles.
Yeah, good point.
They always use the oranges from Seville.
Yeah. Does everyone have any pairings for this?
It's the same pairings for me. I got the Plowman's lunch. I'm kicking back. I'm sitting on that dusty cask.
Yeah.
And
This
I
is a
could
little
see,
higher end for me. I'm thinking a little bit more of a, a little bit fancier mutton and something.
Yeah, definitely some
Really?
mutton.
I think it's time that Mark cracks open our last beer. And one of the fun things about this is that
it in the
we've been going
refrigerator?
from the newest to the oldest. And what's happening here is as I said earlier, we started off with 2013, then we went to 2012, then we went to 2011. They were out of the 2010s, so we're doing a 2-year jump to 2009 for the last one.
And of course, these are all ales.
Yeah, of course.
As
Yeah,
we're,
yeah.
we
These
try
are
to
all
touch
ales,
on
yeah.
that
Beer ales.
every night.
And England is the home of ales, really. You'll find other countries. Well, it's been depleting, but you'll find other countries like Belgium has a whole lot of ales. They also have a whole lot of lagers, and up until about 30 years ago, ales were the only. It'd be tough to find a lager in England 30 years ago. Now it's a lot
because of the
easier.
climate?
Well, I think that's why, and it's a combination of a couple of things. An ale is more suited to like a stick to your ribs type of thing, which you want to have in a damp, cool climate like they have in England often. And on top of that, the English are just so traditional. Mm-hmm. My hat's off to them because I love tradition, and they stick to their traditions like glue. As time has gone on, you get a lot of people now who are drinking lagers over there. And the first ones over there that started building breweries in England that were making lagers was Carlsberg and Heineken. Mm-hmm. And so you'll find a lot of Carlsberg, a lot of Heineken there. And then their domestic breweries have started also making lagers as well. Samuel Smith's is making a lager, which I refuse to drink because it's just... Every beer I've ever had from Samuel Smith's has been on a scale of 1 to 10. It was like a 15.
Oh.
They're just outstanding, and I'm just scared to try a British lager.
You don't want to break that window.
Yes, thank you, Mark. That's exactly what it is.
Well, Chris, we've had that at the Cork and Stogie, and it's an organic lager.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Samuel Smith?
It does not hold up to the standard, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you. That means I did the right thing by not having it.
Yeah.
They admittedly are working on it. They're working on it. It's a work in progress.
I believe that.
So I just want to make I made note of this before, and I want to make note of this again. So this is the oldest one that we have, and this is the darkest. And actually, light does not permeate this beer at all. There's much more sediment, and it is, although in a very dark brown bottle, traditional brown bottle, there's no way light's getting through this. I mean, like, you might be able to shine a flashlight up against it, and that might happen. But for the most part,
That's really dark.
This is a very dark. Well, the darkest of the four.
Yeah.
And although I don't believe this beer to actually come out very dark, it's just darker than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mark, we're going to get the serial number off of that one, but while you're doing that, I mentioned earlier in the podcast here that we may have the same hops in the grains, but I think I was wrong in reading this. It is Kent-grown Golding hops, which was the same, but East Anglican tipple malted barley has an initial aroma of rich, and I can't read that, muscadano sugar, followed by a brandied caramelized orange palate, and finishes with a creamy vanilla warmth.
Some of that has to do with aging. That's
I-
some of that is actual product in the beer, and some of that is actually the flavor profile.
The aging of the product rather than just the ingredients of the product.
I have to mention right off as soon as before I started to sip it, it almost has like a milky